I make a special appeal to social media companies and media outlets. Please deal with the misinformation and disinformation that's on your shows. It has to stop.
Sense of me, you will never stop the free. Thinking that's gonna shut you down. Post the truth and go to town. Sense of me, kick me off of every platform. I'll just go to get a gab and rumble. Now you can't stop me. I think we all see it, but cannot believe it. The glint in our eyes as we look at the sky to see that it's falling and people are calling. I think we all know that the end is nigh. But how can it be? The people is me. I posted a tweet and it got deleted. Don't look at me like I'm conceited. If you conceded, then tell me why you stuck on the YouTube, then on the Facebook, calling it meta. We fed it the cheese, I mean fed it with cheese. They wanna release all of your data to screw up your piece. They censor me, then take liberty. Don't even let me post up with the need. Album to blast, they gonna ban that. Take it off, genius, you can't even read the lyrics of Brandon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages from all across the world. You are now tuned into Crump Live, our twice weekly show, as much as we can do it, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8, where we are once again breaking down the news and having a lot more fun with things. Now that we've got the formal intro out of the way. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chandler Crump. I'm 17 years old. And I made my start in politics in 2018. A few short months after I got started in politics, a certain trend began just about in January 2019 of a young man, or I guess I'll call him a young man, but I think he's like 30-something, creating a very interesting phrase and starting a firestorm of a media coverage. This man's name was Jussie Smollett. Now, I didn't know too much about Jussie Smollett. Turns out I had listened to some of his music before on a show that was very popular. I like his songs. He's got a good voice, in my opinion. I think he raps pretty good, too, I think, if I remember the song correctly. But this guy had a certain thing he wanted to do. His name, as he just said, Jussie Smollett. Man, he started quite the controversy. Do you guys remember This Is MAGA Country? Yeah, that was Jussie Smollett. You guys remember they tied me up with a noose and sprayed bleach on me and were wearing MAGA hats and called me all these different racial and homophobic slurs and this and that and the third. Yeah, that was Jussie Smollett. And it's been 3 years now since around then. This whole thing happened January, maybe February 2019. It's all hazy in my eyes, in my memory, but it was such a long time ago. But the law has finally caught up. He has now been sentenced to jail time for this hate crime hoax. And those, I put quotes in that because I don't even, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's been a long time coming. And you guys are going to see just how long of a time it's been coming in a minute, because we've got a ton of topics we're going to be jumping into. About half of them are about Jussie Smollett. This is going to be crazy. What's going on to everybody who's tuning in live with us here on YouTube, here on Rumble, and here on Twitter as well. Shout out to my folks over on Twitter. We're just getting started. That's my second time streaming on Twitter in a while, so shout out to everybody who's tuned in with us here live over there. Let's just get started. Jussie Smollett was sentenced to 30 months of felony probation, which will include 150 days in jail on Thursday for lying to police about an alleged hate crime in 2019. Smollett, best known for his role on the TV show Empire, was convicted in December of 5 counts of lying to police about the attack, but has maintained throughout his extensive legal battles that it was real. Smollett faced up to 3 years in prison for each of the 5 felony counts. He will spend the first 150 days of his probation in the Cook County Jail, starting immediately. He will also have to pay $120,000 restitution to the city of Chicago, in addition to the maximum $25,000 fine. The judge also denied a motion to reconsider Smollett's sentence or temporarily stay his jail sentence while his counsel filed an appeal. The wheels of justice turn slowly, but sometimes the hammer of justice has to fall, and it is falling right now. I'm not staying this. Well, here we are. What's going on? Steve, nice to see you. Wow. Guys, I don't... This is basically like the entirety of my political activism and speaking about things. Like, I started my YouTube channel in, like, January 2019. So this entire, like, everything you have ever seen from me, more than likely, my music, my YouTube channels, you know, that's plural, my last one got nuked, all of my stuff has been in the period of time between when this began and now. If that puts anything into perspective for you guys, I've grown since then. I have grown, and it's like, wow, it really shows you something. Now, this judge, as I just read his quote, says, "I'm not staying this," like right here, Judge Lynn, what's his name? Lynn, where's the rest? James Lynn. So Judge James Lynn, up there in I think it was Chicago. Chicago's where it took place. Yeah, Chicago, the city of Chicago, Cook County, I guess. He had some pretty crazy things to say, and by crazy, I mean just absolutely wrecked Jussie Smollett, just drew him through the mud. He says, "Your name has become an adverb for lying," or I think that's, you know, not the right tense, but basically, we say your name when we're talking about lying about something. Hear this.
"Your very name has become an adverb for lying." And I cannot imagine what could be worse than that. People talk about situations where somebody's lying and trying to manipulate and maneuver a story, and your name comes up. It's, oh, pulling a Jussie, something like that. That's awful. You're the butt of jokes. Comedians, mainstream talk show hosts, they make jokes about you. They do sketches about you.
Man, let me tell y'all something. I never want to commit a crime. I never want to be in a courtroom. Not even whether I committed a crime or not. That's separate. I never want to be in a courtroom. I never want to be accused. Because the way that judge is roasting this fellow, I couldn't keep a straight face. Either I'd start laughing or I'd start crying, or both. I don't know. He's an actor, so he's able to stand there all resolute-like, and of course he's probably feeling things as well, having to face 150 days in jail. That's a lot, but dang. This judge is tearing him to shreds. As the judge is literally saying, as if the media and the comedians and people like me who just make a living talking about this stuff weren't already on him enough for it. But dang, even your own judge, who's supposed to be the arbiter of the law and justice and all to give you a fair trial, even he's ripping you to shreds. I
can't imagine anything worse than that. No, this is all self-inflicted. These are things you did to yourself.
Dang. And he said, these are all self-inflicted. These are things you did to yourself. That's savage. And yeah, somebody's asking, yeah, he's wearing a mask, because what more do you need as a to really hammer in the point that you are a victim. Let's keep moving forward though, because earlier Jussie Smollett just last month filed a motion to toss out their guilty hate hoax verdict, because yes, he was of course found guilty. That was last year. He's filed a motion to get it out of the way, to not have to deal with it. They requested that his convictions be vacated or that the court grants him a new trial. Lawyers representing Jussie Smollett have filed a motion asking a Chicago judge Friday to throw out the convicted hate hoaxer's guilty verdict or grant the disgraced actor a new trial. Smollett's legal counsel are arguing that his constitutional rights were violated by the court during the jury selection process. Smollett's legal counsel claimed that the court made numerous errors during the high-profile trial, calling it a lightning rod for the political divisions plaguing the country, according to filing obtained. In the legal motion, Smollett's attorneys argued that his right to a public trial was violated because the amount of spectators and members of the press observing were limited due to COVID restrictions. The motion alleges the court endorsed procedures and tactics that allowed prosecutors to exclude black and gay potential panelists from the jury. The heck? The state failed to prove the defendant guilty of the charges against him beyond all reasonable doubt, and failed to prove every material allegation of the indictment beyond all reasonable doubt. As such, the defendant now respectfully requests that his convictions be vacated, or in the alternative, that the court grant the defendant a new trial. Of course, this didn't go quite to plan, and I think I even heard something about them trying to do this again today, mere hours before the sentencing. Just crazy how much these people think they have control of the system. But it seems like Jussie is quite a bit concerned about the system, because after he was sentenced to 150 days in the jail and 30 months of probation, which You guys have heard all sorts of things about probation, especially from rappers or people who have been convicted of like high crimes, but they don't get all the jail or prison time, jail and or prison time. They get probation. So on top of it, he's got 30 months of probation, which means that he cannot do a slew of things. I think it depends on the state and the jurisdiction of where he was convicted and sentenced, but still. He went on to tell the judge, after the judge informed him, Jussie said, "I am not suicidal, and if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself." This is when things are starting to get quite a bit dicey for this whole Jussie Smollett trial. Let's hear this. Let me turn it down a little bit.
I'm fashioning the following sentence, and here's your sentence. I'm sentencing you to...
Oh, here, let me turn it up for y'all, because it's a little low, but turn it up so you guys can hear it just a bit better.
30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles. You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now. Mr. Smollett, though the jury found you guilty and I've sentenced you as I have, you have the right to appeal the findings and rulings of the court or ask your sentence be modified. To do those things, you need to file a notice of appeal in writing within 30 days. You may also file a motion to modify your sentence, which would have to be filed in writing within 30 days. Anything not
Here's the
stated
part you
in
need
those
to hear in a
filings are
second.
waived for purposes of appeal. You cannot afford lawyers or transcripts. They would be provided free of charge. Do you have any questions?
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
Okay.
So I had to turn it up quite a bit so you guys could hear it because the audio was a bit low. If you guys couldn't hear that, I'll find another one that you guys can hear a little bit better. But wow, Samuel Vera says he's a cap. Hold on, I got something for you.
Stop the cap.
Oh man, yeah, that one's loud. But stop the cap? I don't know. He's getting real nervous. Rebecca says, "Relax, dude. You're not Epstein." I don't know, guys. I don't know. These actors are a little weird. I ain't gonna say he ain't Epstein. I'm just gonna say there's no evidence to support such a claim that he is. But I'm not gonna say that there's evidence that precludes him from. Anyways, we don't need to get into that. What we need to get into is the fact that that is a suspicious thing to say. This guy is paranoid. This guy is clearly on edge. This guy is nervous. And when I first watched this, just a few minutes, I reviewed this video just a few minutes before the stream, just to get an idea of how much of an actor this guy truly is. Because I don't know how many of you guys want to know this, but before I got into politics, I really wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor. I kind of like to sing a little bit, but acting was definitely something I cared a lot about. I liked to act. That was a grade A performance. Like when I watch a show, I will grade an actor on their performance. That was a performance right there. Like the way he got up all dramatically and was like, "I would like to stand up for the Black and gay and all the people within my community. This is MAGA country." And or I guess technically he wouldn't want to say that, but you know, he crafted an entire performance. Like, and I won't be able to turn it up again, but just to, like, evaluate his body language, the way he dramatically pulls the mask down, the way he looks into the camera. You guys seeing this right now? You guys seeing this right now? I can literally just. I'm gonna mute it because we don't need to hear it. But the way he looks into the camera, his facial, everything. Okay, his facial maneuvers, his nodding, touching the mask to make sure he seems natural. His facial, the way he's raising and lowering his eyebrows, nodding his head as he talks, the body language, standing up for affirmation, his whole body image. It's an actor, and it's a performance. It's really well done. It's really well done. I could spend hours evaluating it. This is MAGA country, Samuel. You're right. But I don't know why he's saying these things. And Twitter doesn't know either. Because as you can see, I didn't even click into it yet. But I am not suicidal is trending on the side. Somebody said, I wonder why he would say that. Not like weird things happen in jail to high profile people, right? So before we even continue on, let's just check into this, right? The trend that says, I am not suicidal. And it's giving me the suicide hotline. Jussie Smollett after the sentencing, I am not suicidal. Yeah, so this one's like sounds a little better. So you guys can hear it better.
That's what I was practicing.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent.
As Jussie Smollett was led out of the courtroom following his sentencing, he held up a fist. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. And I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago. This is some weird stuff, bro. I don't know, man. Like, if there is video evidence and all this different evidence coming out that you are 100% guilty and everybody agrees you are guilty, and he literally saying, I could have said I was guilty a long time ago, why is he saying I am innocent? We've seen some, like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna put the tinfoil hat on for just a brief few seconds. How out of the realm of possibility is it that somebody maybe framing Jussie for framing himself, and then it was all this long 3-year-long plot to get him in jail so that they could then Epstein him? Maybe it's somebody very powerful that knows that Jussie Smollett knows something about them. For instance, I don't know, there's a lot of big Hollywood types. There was the Me Too movement back in the day, which of course kind of went off the rails, but it was supposed to be exposing very powerful people in Hollywood. Jussie Smollett wasn't a very powerful person in Hollywood, but he was kind of up there. He was punching in the, welterweight up there. How out of the realm of possibility is it that somebody could just be setting it all up, pulling all the pieces, and Jussie Smollett just so happens to be the pawn that's above the other pawns, but still gets knocked over in the end, while the black tries to get the checkmate. I don't know. Tinfoil hat on for a second. I don't know. Let me see what in the chat what you guys think. Steve says he's probably hoping that would get empathy, and again, he has proven himself that he's a POS. True. Agar Khan says sounds like he's afraid somebody might kill him in jail. Rebecca says it's been 2 years of people at the top lying to us about everything. Jussie just following their lead. I don't know. What do you guys think about my conspiracy theory here? My Jussie Smollett, we're not seeing the whole story theory. Because he's maintained his innocence over and over again. And I mean, sure, if I had done something, or actually, I'd probably say no, I did that. But Jussie Smollett, some people, you gotta stick to your innocence. I don't know. It's just my theory. But this story gets even crazier because he says I'm not a suicidal. If anything happens to me, I didn't do it. But then he also, as he's walking out, apparently yells at the judge. So watch this.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal, and I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
Court is adjourned.
One more time. I gotta hear this.
I am not suicidal.
This looks like it's right. Like, okay, I'll give you guys this. I have never watched the show Empire, but if from the things I've heard, I think it has something to do with like crime and stuff, justice and stuff. I don't know. Y'all are gonna get mad at me for talking about something I don't know too much about, but in my defense, it's a TV show. It's not for my audience, okay? Not for my general audience, but this feels like something right out of it. Walking out of the courtroom with the fist in the air. I am not suicidal. I could have said I was guilty a long time ago. Talking all that mess to the judge. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Rebecca says great vocals, right?
I am not suicidal, and I am innocent.
I don't know. It's very artistic in a way. Actors Jussie Smollett sentenced to 150 days, 30 months probation, 25 fine. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. All this stuff. I don't know. It's y'all are saying Killary a lot in my chat. I'm concerned, but as you can see. Well, before basketball started happening right now, I guess, Jussie Smollett was trending #1 on Twitter. He's still at #3. Just tons of people tweeting about him. Can we get a statement from Kamala Harris about her boy Jussie? Ooh, Kamala, you got something to say? Jussie continues to be garbage, dragging his 92-year-old grandma to court. The most important outcome in the Jussie Smollett case is that the truth is finally out. This sick pattern of leftist lies amplified by dishonest media. Okay, cool. Nothing is more important than love. Okay. He shouldn't go to jail because he might get COVID. Okay. We'll serve 30 months. So yeah, just a lot of people sharing the news. Oh, that's a good one. When is Kim Fox getting disbarred and charged for purposely mishandling and trying to cover up for Jussie? A lot of good questions like that happening. I don't know, guys. I'm raising the questions. I had my tinfoil hat on for just a moment to question what's going on with all this mess. We've got a lot more stories coming soon, but if you want even more tinfoil hat moments or more casual shows like this, then make sure you consider hitting that like button on YouTube, that Rumble button on Rumble. And if you're interested in supporting our channel and joining the Hall of Heroes, make sure you check in the description and visit donorbox.org/support-Chandler and consider a one-time or even a monthly donation to support our content here. Of course, big thank you to Mark, Saint June, Carol, our most recent donors. All of it goes through here and goes towards supporting my ability to create content for you guys, and to also know that you guys like these shows, because I do my daily briefs every day at 3, and those are very, like, quick to the point, rapid news segments. I'll sometimes do rants, but we try to keep it less than 30 minutes, and just get through the news as soon as possible, and get you guys the information with as little spin as we can get, although these days, you know, it's a 30-minute show. But these shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8, we try to relax a little bit. We have a few stories, but we kind of go through them slower and kind of have our own theorizing on the side. Bring actual commentary. Because like on my main shows, it's a little bit of commentary and about 50-50 commentary, 50-50 news. On here, it's like 70 commentary, 30 news. Like I've got a story and then I just start riffing about it. So just to make sure you guys like what you're seeing here, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you like this show, keep tuning in on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8. It'll send the message to me that Chandler, maybe it is worth to keep doing this show. I'll keep on coming back and giving you guys this Chandler Crump tinfoil hat vibes that we've got going on with talking about Kim Fox and maybe the idea that Jussie Smollett isn't at the top of this pyramid. You know, it's like the iceberg. You know, the iceberg memes where it's like the tip of the iceberg is just like, oh yeah, Jussie Smollett faked the hate crime. But then you start getting beneath the surface. Maybe Jussie Smollett didn't necessarily fake the hate crime, and it's just the middle of the pond? I don't know. Tinfoil hat, things like that. If you want more of that, definitely consider supporting our show and supporting my ability to create content here on YouTube and Rumble. Shout out to my folks. Let's keep going, though, because I just want to... One last thing. I made this point last year as well, but just to show you guys how long this Jussie Smollett case has been going on. This is what I looked like when this whole Jussie Smollett case began. As you can see, this video was uploaded February 16th, 2019. It was backed up by Odyssey, but this was originally posted on YouTube. But obviously some weird stuff happened with my old YouTube channel, so we abandoned it. But this is the new YouTube channel, and this is what it looks like here on Odyssey. Man. And just for reference, hold on. Let's look up how many days ago was February... What was the date? February 16th, 2019. It's gonna be somewhere. It's gonna be... Oh my gosh. Guys, oh man. That makes me feel so old. This was 1,118 days ago was when this whole Jussie Smollett mess began, or not began, but that's when I made my video about it. Yeah, guys, this was me 1,000 or so days ago. That's crazy. Steve says, that's not you. What? For real? Yeah, guys, this was me in 2019. So, just to show you the way time goes on past, that's how things happen. Steve says the like button is free. Make sure you feed the algorithm. Hit that like button. Yeah, guys, we're at 23 likes. Let's see if we can make our way up to 50 likes. I don't know. I don't even know if we have enough people for 50 likes, but smash that like button anyways. Agarcon says, why are so many people interested in this case, though? Well, it was a big thing back in 2019. You know, this is MAGA country. They try to make it a big thing against Trump. So, and that's just to show you how times have changed. They were making a big story against Trump. Now that I think about it, nothing has changed. They're still making big stories against Trump. But anyways, Jussie Smollett, if we're ignoring my tinfoil theory, is all about attacking Trump and his followers, saying they're racist, they're homophobic, this, that, and all these different things. And then we got down to the story. He outsourced the job of his hate crime and beating himself up to two Nigerian brothers who had no idea what was going on and were just putting on the hats and then beating him up because that's what they rehearsed and that's what they were paid to do. And that's why it was such a big story, because they were like, look at what these Trump supporters are doing to Jussie Smollett. And it fell apart so fast. It was the most beautiful thing. Was beautiful. And that's how we all got started. This was actually one of my biggest videos back in the day. In fact, some of you, although I don't really know how many of you, but maybe at least one of you watching, even if you watched this after the stream, might have came back all the way from this time. So if you want to watch this video and other videos like this, they're available on my Odyssey. Just look up Chandler Crump on Odyssey and you'll be able to find it. All my super old videos are here. In fact, just to show you guys how long ago. Man, all my videos with my brother. My old videos. I have another one about Jussie Smollett. I have one about Ilhan Omar. I have one about The very popular one here, Antifa Homelessness, the Democrat Party. All these old videos that came just back from way back in the day. Phew. You can check them out. They're on Odyssey. But let's keep moving because we've got a lot more stuff to talk about. So let's keep jumping through. Former press secretary to the Ukrainian president says it would be a tragedy if Kamala Harris became president of the United States. I think that's Lululia Mendel's criticism came as Harris ripped over awkward press conference with Polish president. The former press secretary to Ukrainian President Zelensky isn't holding back when it comes to her not-so-cozy feelings towards Vice President Kamala Harris. It would be a tragedy if this woman won the presidency, Lululia wrote, following Harris's Thursday press conference alongside Polish President Andrzej Duda, addressing the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. Mendel's tweet was directed at a video posted by another user showing Harris awkwardly laughing following a question from a reporter about Ukrainian refugees. In the video, Harris and Duda appeared confused about who would answer the reporter's question, leading to Harris laughing while saying, "A friend in need is a friend in need." And yes, unfortunately, we have the video right here. I don't want to do this. But it has to be done.
The UN has set up a process by which there will be a review and investigations, and we will, of course, participate as appropriate and necessary. But we all watched the television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Gosh, I feel like I was better at speaking 1,000 days ago than she is right now. And she's got decades on me. She is just fumbling. She's fumbling. I've fumbled before. I've fumbled during speeches. I've fumbled during streams. It ain't this bad.
But just limited to what we have seen. Pregnant women going for health care?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what she's talking about.
Being injured by, I don't know, a missile, a bomb?
Gosh, Kamala. And think about it like this. These people get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, are in control of the biggest country in the world. They are the so-called adults that are in charge. They have dozens of people and their staffs, at least 2 or 3 people that are dedicated to making sure that they do not sound like an idiot on the world stage. They have communications directors, press secretaries, speech writers, people. They have aides that have binders full of information that are giving her all these different sound bites and things that she can say, so that at a speech you are not fumbling like this. And she is still failing. Oh my gosh, Kamala.
In an unprovoked, unjustified war? Where a powerful country is trying to take over another country, violate its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, for the sake of what?
She's floundering.
Nothing that is justified or provoked? Absolutely there should be an investigation. And we should all be watching. And I have no question the eyes of the world are on
We did it, Joe.
this war.
That's not even the video I was actually meaning to play. I think the video I'm meaning to play is in here somewhere. Oh, man. Yeah, I think it should lead through here. Oh, she deleted the tweet. So, oh, man, she was quote tweeting my friend Benny. Only Kamala Harris would find it appropriate to laugh when talking about the topic of Ukrainian refugees. So, unfortunately, she deleted it, but if this woman won the presidency. Okay, now we have to find this Benny tweet. I just have to see it. Because I know the video that they're talking about. Let me pull this up for you guys real quick, just so you know how bad she was floundering. Like, she was floundering in the thing I just showed you, but this is almost as bad. Almost as bad. Yes, I think that's the video we were just watching. And then, let us interpret this nightmare soup. That's funny. We're almost... Okay, there we go. Found the video. 12 hours ago. Man, time flies. Here's the video of her just basically giving up.
I wanted to ask you about some reporting that my colleague here in Poland noticed. He recently spoke with the mayor of the largest border town, who told him that the refugee system is essentially not set up for this, that it will collapse. It's an improvised system that can work for maybe 2 weeks, but not indefinitely. And I'm wondering what the United States is going to do more specifically to set up a permanent infrastructure. And relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Crickets, crickets,
Okay.
crickets, crickets.
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first.
And you ain't black.
Okay.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Billions.
Truly. That's actually, I should not have played Billions right there. That's not a Billions moment. That's like a...
Go, you know the thing.
That's a bit better. That's sad. A friend in need is a friend in need. Ha 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 ha.
So, this time, szanowna pani redaktor,
So they're talking about refugees. They're talking about, as she said later on, or potentially around this time of the speech, the people with the bombs dropped on them and the pregnant women who are leaving the hospital with the missiles or what was it? Was it the bombs that are landing on them? And you know, it's just a big country that is fighting a smaller country. It needs to be investigated. Right? And she sits there for like a minute with like the most awkward silence as the press is just hanging on to every word, and those poor Polish translators are just struggling to convert that word soup into something comprehensible for the Polish people to understand. It's sad. It's sad as she just laughs.
Madam, the situation is very complex. This is what I was saying.
And so there you go. And he's quite a bit more competent than her at speaking. The translators are doing a good job of converting that back into English. So fair enough. Honestly, fair enough to Mindell. Unfortunately, Mindell deleted the tweet, but hey, Harris was ripped by critics following the exchange, accusing her of looking to Duda for help answering the question and slamming her for laughing amid the suffering of Ukrainians at the hand of the Russian military. Now, I've not been one to be fully on one side in either way. I've criticized both sides and spoke about how unfair it is on either side, but I have never had the gall to laugh. Even at a moment where it may seem a little bit funny. Even at a moment. Like, I could have laughed about Russians no longer having McDonald's, but I just saw it as sad. I saw it as something that's truly depressing that these companies are just doing. They have the power to just gone. Harris traveled to Poland Wednesday to reinforce that the U.S. is standing firm with its NATO allies, as well as in a show of support for the alliance's eastern flank amid the Russian aggression toward Ukraine. Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th and has continued its assault. Yeah. We've heard all about it. We've heard it over and over again. We just can't seem to escape it. All these different stories, right? All these different things stacking against Russia and Ukraine. And even big tech. Big tech is getting involved in it. More than they already were, because some companies have completely shut down operation in Russia. For instance, TikTok no longer operates in Russia. And I believe Facebook too? Yeah, I'm thinking Facebook. Well, anyways, in response to that, basically, Facebook has now allowed, temporarily, posts calling for violence against Russians or Putin. So that's right. In certain countries, you can literally go on there and say, I want to shoot a Russian, or something like that. And even saying that's probably dangerous enough, but still, saying something like that, in quotes, I'm not saying that, but in quotes, that's enough to get you that's enough to not get you knocked off. Like on America, if you say that about the president, you get zapped. Unless it's a Republican president like Trump, then no. But a Russian, you could call for war against. Oh, I can't read this article. Hold on. I forget. It's Reuters that does that. I have to find a different article to do it. Don't you just love when they do that? Because, you know, and they're just losing a read. Like, I'm gonna go find it somewhere else. Like, for instance, U.S. News, which I think is gonna let me read it. Facebook temporarily allows posts on Ukraine war calling for violence against invading Russians or for Putin's death. Meta platforms will allow Facebook and Instagram users. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit more. In some countries to call for violence against Russians and Russian soldiers in the context of the Ukraine invasion, according to internal emails seen by Reuters on Thursday in a temporary change to its hate speech policy. The social media company is also temporarily allowing some posts that call for death to Russian President Putin or Belarusian President Lukashenko in countries including Russia, Ukraine, and Poland, according to internal emails to its content moderators. As a result of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, we have temporarily made allowances for forms of political expression that would normally violate our rules like violent speech, such as death to the Russian invaders. We still won't allow credible calls for violence against Russian citizens. a Meta spokesperson said in a statement. The calls for the leaders' deaths will be allowed unless they contain other targets or have 2 indicators of credibility, such as the location or method, one email said, in a recent change to the company's rules on violence and incitement. Which is just insane. Truly insane. The way things are happening. They could just snap and change the rules. I guarantee if it was the other way around, for instance, if Meta was still operating in Russia, I've got a good feeling that they would not allow Russian citizens to call for the death of, say, Vladimir Zelensky, or Volodymyr Zelensky. I'm getting them mixed up, and they're both V names, but you guys, you know who I'm talking about. Out of respect, it's Volodymyr Zelensky. I'm thinking. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Zelensky. They would not allow a Russian citizen to call for the death of Zelensky. Because they have a side. Big tech has a side, and that's the problem. They have picked a side, and one side is allowed to exist, and one side is not. And this is even, sadly, infecting alt-tech platforms. We talked about this earlier today, so I won't talk your faces off for too long about it. But DuckDuckGo is now going duck, duck under. Duck, duck, down under. If my boy Dare Dad is in the chat, he gets that one. But the founder and CEO of DuckDuckGo said, like so many others, I am sickened by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the gigantic humanitarian crisis it continues to create. At DuckDuckGo, we've been rolling out search updates that downrank sites associated with Russian disinformation. In addition to downranking sites associated with disinformation, we also often place news modules and information boxes at the top of search results to highlight quality information for rapidly unfolding topics. DuckDuckGo's mission is to make simple privacy protection accessible to all. Privacy is a human right, yada yada, whatever, transcends politics. Daniel Bostic says, what a colossal disappointment. You've become the very thing you promised to fight against. We don't need Silicon Valley dweebs policing what we see online. No more DuckDuckGo for me. People are duck dumping the go. People are letting DuckDuckGo go duck duck under. I can make a million jokes, guys. Duck duck is a real great thing. I think I could think of like 10 more off the spot, off the dome, but it's pretty clear to see that a lot of people disagreed with this, so much so that before all this Jussie mess earlier today, DuckDuckGo was trending at #1 on Twitter. And not because it went down or anything, but oh, this is a good one. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same image. They're the exact same image. Oh man, that is sad, isn't it? The fact that DuckDuckGo is directly being compared to Google and Twitter, and in fact, another article, I won't pull it up, but an article earlier today basically said, if you're not aware of what DuckDuckGo is, this doesn't sound too out of the norm, because other big tech platforms do this exact thing. So if you were just telling somebody, yeah, DuckDuckGo, it's a search engine like Google, and they're banning Russian disinformation, you'd be like, okay, what's crazy about that? They don't know that DuckDuckGo was founded off of the idea that there will be no third-party tracking, no third-party involvement in what results you get, and no deboosting based on political opinions and sides of a geopolitical engagement like the Russo-Ukrainian war. Sadly, that's not the case anymore. We have so many more stories we're about to jump into. This next one is hilarious. Truly hilarious. Before we jump into it, though, I want to remind you that this stream is, of course, 100% supported by viewers like you, and I'm going to check and make sure I'm not missing anything real quick before we continue on. So if you're interested in donating to support our content, all those options are available in the description below. If you have a question for me or a comment or anything that's just a burning you really want me to see, go to donorbox.org/support-Chandler, and in your donation, add a message, and it will go directly to me. I'll read it out loud, and you will also, if you're interested, join the Hall of Heroes above. If you're not interested in being a Hall of Hero, you don't want your name out there, just hit your name as anonymous, and it won't go through or anything like that, and I'll accept the support. All those options are available in the description below, just by visiting donorbox.org/support-Chandler, which of course looks like this, and you'll be able to support our content through here, monthly or one time. All your options are available here. And then also, before I continue, I want to remind you that this channel is, of course, sponsored by MyPillow. So if you're interested in getting your hands on one of these very comfortable pillows, while also getting some great savings, make sure you go to mypillow.com and use code CRUMP, that is code CRUMP, for your very own discount off of a pillow, pajamas, towels, sheets, you name it, they've more than likely got it over on MyPillow. So go check it out. Our next story, man, is it something. It is something. Chasten Buttigieg leads kids in a pledge to the rainbow flag and to the gay agenda for which it stands. Man, sometimes when I talk about an article in 2022, it just does not seem real. because that is the husband of the Secretary of Transportation, who is also a male, Pete Buttigieg. That's what that is. The husband of the Secretary of Transportation is leading kids not in the Pledge of American Allegiance, but the Pledge of Gay Allegiance, I guess? To the rainbow flag. That's what it is. And the gay agenda for which it stands. One nation under, I don't know. What is it under? Under the rainbow flag? One nation, indivisible, with lesbians and, I don't know, lesbians and gays for all. I don't know. I'm trying to piece it together here. I can't. Let's just take a look at this video, shall we? Oh man, wow.
Quite the welcome. Oh my gosh. Hands on the little gay hearts.
I'm gonna see if I can find the video that was taken up here, because I saw that one. Nope, that's our next story. I saw this video first, so I'm gonna quickly see if I can track down like a higher quality version for you guys, because I want you guys to see this. I'm just look up Chasten Buttigieg, and it'll probably show me what I'm looking for. I think, yeah. Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. The gay allegiance. I can't believe it. I actually can't. So here it is. Well, there's one. I want to see if I can get a better one, maybe. I think it exists. It should. I want you guys to see this. I really do. We'll have to just go with this one. It's a better angle, at least.
All right. I pledge my heart. To the rainbow.
I'm gonna turn it up a little bit so you guys can see. Oh, hey, Shanna. Haven't seen you in a little while. She says, oh, I can't stay, but wanted to drop in and say, hey, Chandler, miss you guys. Been super busy. Wish there was more time in a day. Well, if you ever get free time at 3, that's when our daily show is. So try and tune in then. Nice to see you again, Shanna. And what's up, Maurice? I see you, my man. I'm gonna turn it up so you guys can hear this just a little bit better, so you can hear every piece of him talking about the gay agenda. Let's hear this.
All right. I pledge my heart. To the rainbow. Of the not so typical gay camp. One camp. Full of pride. Indivisible. With affirmation and equal rights for all. Watch your heads.
This is children. These are children that instead of saying liberty and justice for all are saying affirmation and equal rights for all. Now, I couldn't tell you how young these kids are, especially in 2022 with the way culture has these kids dressing. No idea to know, but they look like they're like preteens. Very small kids, young. And they're being led not your typical gay camp. Wow. Now, in its defense, it looks like these kids are at this camp for being gay. I didn't know it existed, but a gay camp, that's what it is. I saw the transgender flag in the background. This young man here. Yeah, so there's the transgender flag in the background. It's all a massive community. It's all a big community as they wave the flag. Did they say the Pledge of Allegiance? Probably not. Probably not. Now, it's a gay camp. They do their own thing. It is what it is, right? But I think this represents a cultural march forward. Right? Man, I have to show you guys this. This is kind of hilarious. Lori with the Ukrainian flags. I posted on Twitter like a couple weeks back. The Ukrainian flag is basically replaced the LGBT flag. And if you have the Ukrainian flag, more than likely you probably used to have the LGBT flag, or you've got both. And as you can see, she's got the Ukrainian flags, and then, well, you can see what she's reposting. Ah, man. This is from the Amazon Prime documentary Mayor Pete. They probably filmed and aired this moment. Nobody noticed until now because nobody watched the documentary. Oh, so this actually probably came out a few months ago, or maybe even a year ago. Wow. For the children. So this is actually old. This is old. It came out. Hold on. Let's do some live research. When did the Mayor Pete documentary come out? I gotta know. Mayor Pete. Once it loads. Okay, so it came out October 2021. It got a 63 on Metacritic. That's better than quite a lot of movies get. Rotten Tomatoes, 72. 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb, though. Well, let's look at the Mayor Pete Wikipedia. I'm kind of interested. Follows the mayor of South Bend as he runs for president. It had its world premiere at the Chicago Film Festival, October. It was released November 12th, 2021. Discuss LGBT parenting. He also meets with liberal, Jewish, and Christian, with that he terms religious left. They discuss using faith as a weapon. Oh my gosh. I can't read this. I really can't, but Al Sharpton, Pete Buttigieg, Chasten. Oh man, I won't get too much further into this, but I wanted to highlight that for a minute and really connect it all together, because this comes, now I guess technically it came before, but it does slightly connect to all the don't say gay stuff happening in Florida. Oh, okay, Steve says, Chandler, I just dropped my phone and it is really far. Hold on. Man, okay, well, let me see if I got like an email about it. Okay, so it did come through, Steve. Let me see if I can read it. Okay, Steve sends $25. Thank you, Steve. I dropped my phone at the exact wrong time, and it is too far to grab. But, that's my luck, folks. Steve, thank you so much for your support. It is 25. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Steve, joining the Hall of Heroes once again. Shout out Steve, shout out Mark, shout out all of our people in the Hall of Heroes supporting our content. But yes, this does go back to, actually, I don't know if you sent a message with it. Did you say? Okay. It's so far. Hold on. I will pull it up on my computer to see if you sent a message with it, just to make sure I'm not missing out on you. He says, much love and aloha, Chandler. Thank you, Steve. Just to read your message out loud. Shout out Steve, shout out all my folks. This does connect to the don't say gay stuff in a slight of ways. It's been a massive thing happening in Florida. If it gets big enough and if it keeps going on, I may have to make a full video about it. But Ron DeSantis had a great moment recently regarding this. Now, he's been absolutely Chad in the way he's been handling this. He's been resolute. He's been standing his ground and really proving that he is the strongest governor in America and that he does not bow down to the president, and he does not care about what the media and the left slander him and anything like that. He's collected a lot of wins this year. His wife recently beat breast cancer, so just I gotta give him an applause for that. It's just, it is this man's year. It's been this man's year since 2021. He's just keeping it up. He's racking them up. And just recently, he had a call with the most powerful corporation in Florida, which is the Disney Entertainment Company, and told them to pound sand, as Chris Rufo says it. But let's hear what Ron DeSantis did.
So here's what I can tell you. In the state of Florida, we are not going to allow them to inject transgenderism into kindergarten.
Really loud.
First graders shouldn't have woke gender ideology imposed in their curriculums. And that is what we're standing for, because we're standing for the kids and we're standing for the parents. And I can tell you this. The chance that I am going to back down from my commitment to students and back down from my commitment to parents' rights simply because of fraudulent media narratives or pressure from woke corporations, the chances of that are zero. And when you have companies that have made a fortune off being family friendly and catering to families and young kids, they should understand that parents of young kids do not want this injected into their kids' kindergarten classroom. They do not want their first graders to go and being told that they can choose an opposite gender. That is not appropriate for those kids. And so if you're family friendly, understand the parents who are actually raising families want to have their rights respected. And I also think that if you have companies like a Disney that are going to say and criticize parents' rights, they're going to criticize the fact that we don't want transgenderism in kindergarten and first grade classrooms, if that's the hill that they're going to die on, then how do they possibly explain lining their pockets with their relationship from the Communist Party of China? Because that's what they do, and they make a fortune, and they don't say a word about the really brutal practices.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to evaluate. I'm going to get a little bit meta for a second. And actually, no, before I do, I want to give a shout out to Shanna Ray, who sent a donation as well. Thank you to Shanna. Steve, I feel bad to replace you this fast, but we do appreciate you a ton. But thank you, Steve. I may have to revamp how this Hall of Heroes systems works, because when they send them back to back, I kind of feel bad. But Steve, you know how I feel. Shanna hasn't been in the show for a while, so you've already been usurped, Steve. But thank you for your support. Shout out Shanna for joining the Hall of Heroes today. He says, I did a video when Ron said what he said to those high school kids of him saying it, and it got removed and I got a strike. Actually, I did hear about that happening to some people, which was scary to me because I covered it quite heavily, spent a while talking about it. So, scary stuff. But I want to get meta for a second, and spit it to you guys like this. Look at Ron DeSantis versus Kamala Harris, okay? He is not standing in front of a podium. He is standing in the middle of what appears to be some sort of restaurant with a crowd of people, not just in front of him, but behind him and to his side. It's probably a lot hotter in there. Kamala Harris was on a podium. She had her entire staff. She had more than likely a binder. Actually, I know for a fact she had a binder because there was another video of her checking her notes. She had all that information in front of her, and she still couldn't string together a good sentence. Meanwhile, Ron DeSantis, with probably way less preparation than Kamala Harris has, just right there and there, stringing together an amazing, beautiful, eloquent story, starting off with the children, connecting it to the, implying and making allusions to the Don't Say Gay bill and how he is standing up for parents' rights and standing up for your children to not be indoctrinated by a truly disgusting system, then connecting it to how he is standing up against those corporations, standing up against the Disney, standing up against the, I don't know what other companies, whatever other company that was pressuring them and saying, you need to just back off and let them do their thing. Let them talk to the kids, okay? Because in the end, the kids are still going to want to come to Disney World, right? They're probably going to want to go more if we get this, all the indoctrination going, although you didn't hear that from me. But it's truly, it's a spectacle to see, to compare these two politicians of which, see which office each one is in. But I don't know, it's only a matter of time for Ron DeSantis. I'm gonna tell y'all, even if 2024 isn't his year, there's plenty of time. And you don't operate like this and get this much of an amazing feedback. And I've seen Ron DeSantis in person, seen the feedback he gets at speeches. I've seen the way that the right-wing media has been propping him up as a legitimate Trump competitor. You don't have this much of a caliber if you don't at least plan a potential presidential run in the future. I don't think I would support DeSantis in 2024 right now, but I think it's more than possible. And I think for 2028 or in the future, more than definitely, he is a great candidate. I obviously can't, throw my support behind him, but he's got some great standing and he speaks very well.
That you see over there at the hands of the CCP. And so in Florida, our policy is going to be based on the best interest of Florida citizens, not on the musing of woke corporations.
Woke corporations. And that is the story. That's the story of how it all comes down. Jussie Smollett, lying to the people. Kamala Harris, not even knowing what she's talking about. Or even though we didn't talk about her tonight, Jen Psaki, which is a combination of lying to the people and also not knowing what she's talking about, believe it or not. All this funny stuff is all coming together to make 2022 just a very funny year. We're going to see Jussie Smollett in 150 days. Somebody in the chat earlier was saying, Chandler, I wonder if Jussie Smollett is gonna have any acting gigs after this. Did you see him a minute ago? Did you see him? That guy can act. Honestly, I'd say I wanted him back in the acting field. I feel like it would be really funny to see what he gets cast in. To show you that, the system's a little broken. That when you get arrested, but if it's against a Trumper, then you go home free. Alec Baldwin shot a poor lady and is now back on the set of Rust, finishing up that movie, not facing any repercussions for his actions. Jussie Smollett eventually got it, so maybe it's only a matter of time before... Oh, no way. Oh, this is crazy. I didn't know this happened. Okay, this is breaking news. Well, I guess not breaking, but I didn't know this happened. Okay. Wow, okay, I was actually just getting ready to, wrap things up. Those are all our stories, but this is big. So you guys know how Trump went on that podcast. We talked about it earlier today. YouTube has deleted the episode off of their platform. That's right, the episode of Trump on the Nelk Boys podcast, in which he was saying all these things, making some great jokes. He talked about the YMCA gay anthem, that's separate. But he also talked about Biden being a legitimate threat to the country. In fact, I'll even pull up the article about it. Be scared of Joe. Yeah, there it is. So you should be scared. This episode he did on the podcast with the Nelk Boys. It's now, wow, you can see the watch. It's just gone. It's just gone. Or maybe the article hasn't loaded in fully. Yeah, so the Full Send podcast, and here, I'll even do this real quick. I'll go to YouTube and see if I can find it. Let's just, the Full Send podcast, because I've had things deleted before. So yeah, so the top search result is Full Send podcast Trump. You go to it, and there's clips of it, but the actual podcast itself, let's go to the YouTube channel, gone. Their last episode is Kodak Black, and a few, Candace Owens. Wait, Candace Owens went on there? Hold up, I didn't know that happened. Okay. I might have to find my way onto this podcast at some point soon. Nelk, y'all know how to get me, but dang, they just took it down. They've had a lot of people on there. That's a big podcast. Okay. Wow, yeah, they've had a lot of people on there. Gone. And actually, I have experience with this. On my old YouTube channel, I live streamed a Trump rally and got a strike for it. You guys want to know what that strike was for? Drum roll. Hold on, let me find a sound effect once again. Let me get a drum roll, please. Violent criminal organizations. Yeah, President Trump, who at the time was still a sitting president of the United States, was a violent criminal organization. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It really does. They've deleted the episode, which had over 5 million views in 24 hours. It was violating community guidelines. Crazy. So here it is. It was what? I didn't know there was a misinformation policy. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our misinformation policy. We've removed the following content from YouTube: Donald Trump on World War III, Putin, and Joe Rogan. Wow, I knew there was such thing as a medical misinformation strike, but not just a straight-up misinformation strike. I have never seen this before. So now YouTube has declared itself the arbiter of truth. DuckDuckGo, Facebook, Meta, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, all these different platforms that are saying that they basically are the ones that decide what you're saying is true or false. They have the experts. They are the ones that are like, yeah, no, you're not, you're gone. Even though this is just a normal people, normal guys, Nelk. They aren't politicians. They've had politicians on. They aren't even Joe Rogan. I don't believe they have any crazy thoughts like he does that may, land up in hot water. I don't think there's videos of them saying the N-word over the years, even if it's under a context of just talking about the word itself. These guys are just normal dudes. In fact, I think back in the day they used to do pranks or something, because I know their name from back when I was younger. These guys are just pranksters who are running a podcast. They're just like the Paul brothers. And they're getting their videos removed simply because Trump is there. That shows you what 2022 is. These people are a part of a cabal. And they may let some of their members hit the hay and go to prison like Jussie Smollett did. They may just let them happen. But for the most part, they're going to hold on to that power. They're going to hold on to it. And they're going to use it. They are going to use it to get people like Trump out of your sight. Notice how it's been so hard to hear things about Trump unless it's Biden talking about Trump or Jen Psaki saying it's the last administration's fault that the gas prices are so high. Or no, it's Putin. Because those are the only times you're allowed to hear his name. If I played a clip of Trump on this show, it would probably get it would probably get misinformation striked. Because YouTube knows what the truth is. And Donald Trump giving his opinion is apparently a lie. They aren't even calling it a distant. They aren't even calling it what's it called a dangerous criminal organization. They're just saying it's misinformation. What type of misinformation? Now I'll give you guys the benefit of the doubt. I did not watch the full thing, but they're not getting striked for medical misinformation, and I don't think they spent that much time talking about COVID, if at all. If they did, it's maybe 5 minutes. The main talking points, and especially the ones that I've been hearing about, are World War III, Vladimir Putin, Joe Rogan, nukes, and how scary it is that Joe Biden is the president. I have some of the quotes right here. How serious is the threat of nuclear war? I think it's serious, Trump said. I wonder if YouTube is just like, hey, PolitiFact, do you think World War III and nuclear warfare are serious? And PolitiFact is saying, fact check, false. Joe Biden is the adult in charge, and there's absolutely zero chance of a nuclear war under the President-in-Chief, Joe Biden, because...
And you ain't black.
Right? Right? Or maybe they reached out to Snopes, and Snopes was like, yes, Joe Biden has the possibility of starting World War III. But here's why this is missing context, and why President Trump needs to be kicked off of YouTube for saying that there's a slight risk of it happening. Right? A slight risk. We have to update the list again, because we've received another one. Big thank you. I'm looking at. I really dropped my phone. It's like on the other side of my desk. I want to go crawl and grab it. But thank you to Mary, who sends $25 to the Cash App. Thank you so much to Mary. I'm gonna add your name to our Hall of Heroes. I can't see if you left a message or not, so I may have to crawl and grab it or see if maybe it's in the email. I don't know. Is it in the email? Did you send a message, Mary? It doesn't look like you did. If you did, I may read it in a minute. But yeah. Trump went on to say, but I hate hearing Biden say, no, we don't want anything to do with Russia. They're a nuclear power, but so are we, and we're a bigger nuclear power. We have brand new, oh, I have to do the Trump impression. I have to do it again. I think I've been practicing it today. Might be a bit better. We have brand new, because of me, nuclear weapons that we didn't have. And we have renovated weapons that were very old, and now they're renovated. And we never went to use them. And by the way, you know how you're not going to use them? By having them. If you didn't have them, we would have big problems. Big problems. Oh, man. Oh, man. Isn't that just crazy? Oh, and Rumble right here. I gotta smash a like on that one. I gotta smash a like on that. Rumble says, ready when you are. Let's do this. It's only emboldening these alt tech platforms to get down to business. Do you guys remember when me and a few other artists got together and made a song that may or may not have got a Billboard plaque? We only got that plaque because YouTube said, nope, let's go, Brandon, that's medical misinformation. And then patriots like you guys went out and bought the song Let's Go Brandon and shot it to the top of the charts and helped us beat Adele and show big tech and show the big culture. I guess that's what we could call the rappers, Lil Nas X's, and all these different people. Big tech, big culture, and big government that they cannot boss us around. You helped us send that message. Alt tech platforms like Rumble and Odyssey and Locals and Telegram, as much as they can. Telegram is doing some weird stuff too. Are helping us get that message out there. So I'm proud. Rumble says, ready when you are. Let's do this. And of course, it's normal to have a little bit of skepticism. It says, how do we know you won't go the way? How do you know you won't go the way that when they eventually end up going? I think what you're trying to say is, how do you know you won't end up like DuckDuckGo? And there's no way to know. But you know what? If they made a good promise, I'm a hope they stick to it. I'm a hope they stick to it. And it's always a better option than YouTube. And we're live on Rumble right now. Helicon says, it's all a lie. There is no war, just the CIA acting up again. Okay, interesting, Helicon. So YouTube has deleted that episode, really showing you guys how far this censorship has become. Babylon B. Man, I had to show that to you guys. Before I tune out again, I gotta just check and make sure I'm not missing any crazy stories, because it seems things always seem to happen right when I'm about to say, we're good. Romney, we don't need to talk about that. Correa, Kaepernick? Oh my gosh. In the best shape of his life. He wants to play. He's ready to play. I don't care. Colin Kaepernick. That's funny. Stuff going on about Madison Cawthorn. What's going on with this Jussie Smollett judge story? I think it's just the word judge is trending for Jussie Smollett. Judge just denied Smollett's request for a new trial. Then on to the sentencing. Okay, cool. We use preferred pronouns in this courthouse. So that's something else, I think. At least I hope so. Actually, let me check the context of the comments. Who determines the preferred... Okay, I think that's something else. I hope that's something else. That ain't looking or sounding good for Jussie. This judge is laying down the case for some real jail time. Agree? So that was all before the things happened. I repeat, you put the noose around your own neck, judge, right now. Agreed. Oh, man, did he actually say that? Yeah, the judge just tore him apart. Hold on. Did I hear this one yet?
Right here, right now. Mr. Smollett. So the jury found you guilty, and I'd say...
Yeah, I think we already heard that one. Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing out on anything. Big thank you to all the people who are tuned in. Big thank you to our Hall of Heroes for this stream. You guys really showed the love. So we're going to keep these night shows going. You will see me, of course, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8. Just keep on coming back, and we will never miss out. Also, be sure to tune in tomorrow at 3 for tomorrow's edition of the Chandler Brief, which is, of course, if you guys aren't aware, is our every weekday show at 3 Eastern, where we break down the news. It's a lot more formal than this show. You could say business casual, because we wear a fancy little tie. This show is, of course, a little bit more informal. I drop my phone and I'm willing to talk about it. And we get a little conspiratorial. We make a lot more jokes. We play a lot more sound effects on this show. It's all a great time. So big thank you to the people who supported us. Big thank you to all the folks who smashed the like button. We're at 35 likes on YouTube, which is great. I'm really proud of what we've done with this channel. We've really built it up. This channel did not exist like a month ago, so big thank you to all my folks who are supporting me. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. I want to make our way up to 1,000 subscribers soon. We're currently at 891, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Smash that notification bell as well so you never miss out. And, of course, the notifications don't always work on YouTube, so just remember the times. We will always have a daily brief show at 3 and a Crump live show on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that way, there's no excuse. Just set the reminder on your phone, maybe at like 7:55, that Chandler's going to go live in 5 minutes. or set a timer at 2:55 that Chandler's going to go live at 3. Whatever it may be, whatever you want to use to make sure you keep on coming back for this show. Shout out to Samuel, Roxanne, Rebecca, Steve, who are a lot of our regulars. I've seen your names around here a lot. Salty, all my folks who are my regulars, my loyal people who are loyal to the Chandler Brief and Crump Live. Big shout out to all you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3. And aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence.